Good afternoon, and welcome to another Super Secret Project sketch. This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X, and today we're going to go back to Disney and possibly one of the coolest characters they've ever done, and might I add, one of probably the hottest. Um, Audrey from Atlantis. I absolutely love Audrey. She's small, she's spunky, she knows what she's doing, and just cute as a freaking button. Um, I'm serious. I think she's adorable.
Oh, yeah, I love her character. I really wish that Disney did more characters like her.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like me some cute characters, some kind of sugary blah blah blah. I've been watching anime for years. I'm used to it. But there's something about Audrey. She's they just added something more to her design. She's just such a good looking character. So that's what we were doing. There we go, today. Okay.
I'll be there to blather on with you in a second.
Oh, it's okay, honey. Get your stuff done. Just gonna start in by roughing out the shapes. I hear you.
Alright, here I am.
Got everything set?
Yep.
Good for you.
Everything's sent that need to be sent. Now I need to hop open and make sure we are live on the proper channels here.
Well, we're doing good on Twitch so far, so maybe it wasn't a cable problem. Maybe it was a Twitch problem. So we've been doing pretty good.
Well, it's a little bit janky on this,
Yeah,
is what I see.
that's fine. It dying out completely is what I care about. Perfection is. But if we're paying money, I expect it to at least work on a janky level.
Yeah. Alrighty, and looks like we are good on Facebook. We're live.
Woohoo!
Yeah, Atlantis was one of those movies that was very underrated. Disney was trying
It
something.
had some problems though.
Yeah, it did.
But it was really good other than that.
Yeah, and that's pretty much Disney's thing. They have problems, but this one this was one of the ones where they were definitely trying a different route as far as the standard Disney flair that we're used to. And yeah, it's when they were trying to do more. And I hate using this, but this is what they advertise. Well, that's what they were saying. More boy-oriented stories to try and get more of the younger male viewership in.
Well, to me, I look at it as the action adventure. I mean, they kind of do that with other ones, but it was really much more like old school Disney movie action adventure stuff, you know. And that to me is. I wish they would do more of, because that's when Disney was, to me, cooler. Not resorting to having to have a song and a bunch of overly sentimental blah blah blah, which is fine in small doses. It's actually really good in small doses. But it gets to a point where you're like, oh, can I have an explosion in a truck horse race car chase to the death? I mean, I'm going to the movies for fun. I'm not going to the movies to, try to have the movie try to get me to ovulate. Which is, I'm just saying it's fine. It's just do we really have to have another Prince Charming storyline? It's like,
And the thing is, I love musicals, and I've mentioned this many times before. I love Disney musicals. And Disney, that was the formula that they went in after a while. And I know the history behind it, but just it's blanking on me right now as to why they chose to go the musical format. Aside from this is what sells. But I mean, I like both, and I really enjoy both when well
But when
done.
I get a ton of one,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like both, and I like them both when they're well done. I just like to see both when they're doing just one or just the other. You kind of lose the balance there. So I mean, I like, I like the musical stuff, and I like the adventure stuff. Well, I love the musical stuff, and I love the adventure stuff. I mean, with the musical stuff, that's when they had basically the Disney Renaissance time. And that's actually what brought me back to Disney, because that's what we grew up on. And with, and I fully admit this was me being dumb, being a bullied kid in elementary, well, most of my school life. The Disney Renaissance started just around my end of middle school, going into high school time period. And so during that time, I was trying to be cartoons are dumb, even though I loved cartoons and drew cartoons, and cartoons were pretty much what I lived, breathed, and ate, because that was just what I was doing. And I was trying to basically deny that part of myself, because that was one of the things I was getting bullied for, was, you're being a little kid, you still like cartoons and toys. Like, well, yeah, I am a little kid, that's why I still like cartoons and toys. And so I was trying to push that part away. And the Disney Renaissance, starting with Little Mermaid, brought me back, and basically I was able to realize this is what I love and this is what I want to do. And screw all those folks for trying to take that away from me, just because they were like trying to get rid of their own childhood. And that's just being a teenager, being a kid. That's what happens. You're trying to push all that little kid stuff away, and that's, to me, that's the maturity of it, is when you realize, wait, this is the stuff I love. It's the C.S. Lewis quote. Take it like that he takes from the Bible. As when I was a child, I spoke as a child. I spoke as a child, and I lived as a child. But then he says, but when I became an adult, I realized that, with the paraphrase, that I love childish things, and I now have the option to do what I want, and I like being a child. And more or less the quote. I know I butchered it, but so for me, the Disney Renaissance the musical stuff has a special place in my heart. And then when they started doing a lot of the action stuff, I was even more excited, because I was like, good, more story. Because we always had good stories, I just wanted more story a lot of the time.
I wanted something more than just sweet, cuddly, cute moments, and I realized Disney wasn't all that. I get that. I'm not saying it was. But there's a lot of stuff where you're going like, look, you can have your great Disney action ending that a lot of them do have, but up until that point, it's like, unless the romance or the sentimental scenes are really primo, and if you do it right, I'm on board with you. And if the musical's good, and I'm not a huge musical guy at all, but if it's good, I'm with you. But if it's just like, we didn't know what else to do, and that's what a lot of Disney movies have, moments like that, where it looked like they didn't know what else to do. So they just fell back on the stuff that they did 1,000 times, and it's like, okay. Yeah. I love the animation, and I love the character designs, and blah, blah, blah. But we're doing this again, huh? Okay. But if you have an action sequence, and same things can happen in action sequences, if they're just phoning it in, I don't want it. But at least it was like, oh, Disney's doing action.
Yeah.
Right on, and it's fun, and there were, I mean, like it had like turn of last century character designs, and it had a really interesting cast of characters, and I just really had a good time with it. And yeah, there was a few real deep criticisms I had of that movie, where you're just going like, guys, you need to spend more than 5 minutes on your script, because there's moments in that movie that look like they really polished it, and there's moments in that movie where they just went, nah, I don't know, and then they just throw some random button hits, like no one's gonna do any thinking. We're just gonna fill it in with some complete childish BS, and then pray no one notices. People noticed. The rest of the time was great though. Like, I loved a lot of the characters and a lot of the basic beats of it, and but there was some moments where they treated the audience like they were idiots, and that is unforgivable. You cannot treat your audience like they're idiots. Period. You can't do it. You can't do it. That's just showing absolute disdain for the people who bought tickets, and you want them to come back. Period. You want them to come back, and I love big chunks of that movie, but there was moments, wow. There was one or two characters, wow. But then they had great ones like Audrey, and I was like, more Audrey! Give me more Audrey, she's freaking amazing!
Yeah, I loved Audrey. Yeah, I loved pretty much the majority of the cast they had in there. And
Yeah, they had a lot of good characters.
Yeah, and there was one or two, mainly one, I was like, take it.
Mole.
Yeah,
Freaking
I was like,
Mole.
I can take it or leave it, because he for me, he had that stupid, just kind of, he's there to make the kids laugh. He's the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, but that's the
basically,
problem.
and-
You could still make the kids laugh with higher hanging fruit. That's my point.
Yeah.
It's like Jar Jar Binks. You didn't need Jar Jar Binks. The low hanging fruit in the original Star Wars movies was C-3PO and R2-D2. And as a little kid, and I was a little kid then, they worked. And they're not really low hanging fruit, but they're basic, easy comic relief. Follow the characters, no big deal. Jar Jar Binks was like, yeah, you know what? People are too dumb to understand the highbrow humor of C-3PO and R2-D2. Let's make sure they have a kindergarten level character in there. And that's what Mole was. He is unforgivable.
Yeah, and for me, like I said, I gave him the pass because he was, for the points that he served his purpose, he was good. And then other than that, and for me, I think they would have done a bit better if they didn't make him so obviously a stereotype.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you can't have these characters. I'm saying don't treat us like we're 2 years old. He was they think I'm 2 years old, and they think I'm going to find him funny. When in actuality, they could have taken about another 5 minutes worth of brainstorming and actually created a character worth watching. And he was impossible to watch. He was so bad. And it was basically, he was the Jar Jar Binks of the movie. He was just impossible to watch. I would have rather they took all of his time, removed that character because he really had nothing to do with nothing. Give me more Audrey, or give me more of the Doc.
Yeah, Doc. We'll be Doc.
Yeah, and give me more of that stuff, because that stuff, those characters were fun, and the stuff that they were doing, Audrey with the machines, and the Doc with the with the medical stuff. Whereas Mollard is like, look at the pile of darts, and you're like, okay. I mean, I literally was just sitting there going like, are you done with him now?
Because he was there. He was the tunnel expert.
Yeah, but did he
to-
actually do anything in the plot though? I don't remember him actually doing anything.
Yeah, he actually was able to tell them where to go as far as digging, where to dig properly without.
See, I don't
everything.
remember him doing that in the movie. Did he?
It was very brief, but yes, that's what I was saying. The parts that he did do when he actually was useful was good. Because yeah, at one point he was actually being the excavator, and actually saying, okay, we need to dig here. This part here is we can't dig here. This is good and all, but it was very brief.
But that's what I'm saying is they, if they were going to do something with that character, they could have really done something. And instead, I have an irritating French stereotype, and I'm actually okay with stereotypes as long as you do interesting things with them. They didn't do, in my mind, they didn't do anything interesting with him, like at all. He was just hideous. Meanwhile, every single time he's on the screen, I'm like, can I get more Audrey? Like, I legitimately was going like, she's cool. She's like the little grease monkey. And plus, the voice acting of the character was great.
I just love her. They were talking about all their families and stuff. My dad actually wanted boys. He wanted one to be a mechanic and one to be a boxer. Like, but he got my sisters and me. Like, so what's up? Well, my sister's the all-time champion. Oh, that was awesome. Yeah, I loved her design because she was I like baggy clothing in general and stuff. I love the way baggy clothing when it's I like the way it flows and moves and stuff. And when they put with her, that was pretty much my aesthetic. I like big baggy overalls and kind of oversized shirt with spunky tomboy. I'm like you're pretty much just painting my aesthetic right there for me. And so her character design was really, really appealing and really neat to me. And yeah, I agree with you. I wanted to see more, and I wish they would have. I really wish that we could have done more. So did Atlantis have a series? I can't remember. I don't think it
Probably,
I think it
but
had a TV
when
series.
Disney does their movies as a TV series, I just ignore it.
Some of them can be actually really good. Some of them are pretty much weird. They are what they are. But there have been a couple that was actually pretty decent, pretty funny.
Well, which is fine. It's just, at the end of the day, if you're not doing something amazing, I hate to sound like a snob, but
Well, then stop.
well, it's like you're doing something mediocre and someone else is doing something great. Guess where I'm going? The person that's doing something great. And if Disney's like phoning it in, going like, "Oh, we don't have to worry about this. Toddlers are watching it," I'm like,
Which I think with that one, at least the overall story, they didn't do that. Because, I mean, they got it was Mike Mignola's character design. So that right there for me was like,
Yeah, that was
okay,
neat.
they were making a serious attempt at doing something a bit more than what they normally
"Oh
do.
yeah, no," and that was the thing is, there was a lot about this movie that I really liked.
Yeah, I loved. I can never remember her name, but the communications lady, the older lady.
Yeah, she was good. Commander.
Commander. And of course, the best part with her when they're all setting up camp for the night and stuff, and she's walking by Milo's tent, and Doc has like the sleep I'll say sleep shade, no, the sleep mask, and I can't remember what Milo says to her, something about putting on her pajamas or something like that, and she was like, "I sleep in the nude." And Doc just flings over the sleep mask to Milo. You're gonna need one of these.
Got need one of these.
Oh, and of course, that was Jim Varney's last movie. That was a good movie for him to go out on because he had a great character. With
No,
that.
see, Cookie.
Yeah.
There is a low-hanging fruit character that was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. He wasn't spectacular. He wasn't deep, but he also wasn't obnoxious, and they created nice little bits with him and stuff, and you're kind of like, oh, give me more cookie.
Yeah.
I'd rather have way more cookie than more mole, you know, and he's a good example. I'm not saying you have to be brilliant. I'm just saying
I got your 4 basic food groups right here, and holds up 3 fingers. Beans, bacon, whiskey, and lard.
that's what I'm saying is it wasn't brilliant, but it was funny. You know, you're like, oh no, I'm good. We don't have to be like, you know, super genius like humor here. Just give me something that I can really legitimately laugh at. You know.
Yeah, I think with Atlantis, they were dealing with a way bigger cast than they normally do, because usually you have, of course, your main dude, and then you have your couple of secondaries, usually either the love interest or
Yeah, they did
the
have a
best
big
friend.
group of characters,
Yeah, I
didn't
mean,
they?
it was an actual team, and so that was way more than what they normally do. So yeah, I think with a lot of, they were just trying to just get everybody in there as best as they could, which is why, in my opinion, they were kind of lacking on. While the characters were great, they were still kind of lacking, in my opinion, because I love character and story and going deep into the characters. I love
Yep.
character exploration and stuff, and so yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why it was kind of a bit lacking, because there was just so much more, or so many more people that they had to pay attention to and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, and then having Kita, Princess Kita, which of course one of my all-time favorite voice actresses, Cree Summer, and I don't care what they say, that she was Disney's first black princess.
Okay.
Atlantean or not, she was the first black princess, of course.
Sure.
But yeah, they did a lot of good new stuff with that. I mean, I gotta say that was Disney's first non-humorous nutshot. And when the I don't want to call them stormtroopers, but when the
Kind of stormtroopers.
yeah
Well.
the faceless army came in and tried to basically take over, and Kita just whipped them down. Like, she just took dudes down in one hit, and then just took his gun, barrel whipped him, was about to just stab him, and then that's when Rourke shot the gun at her, and she was like, oh crap. And then when she got up off him, she like meet him again. So I mean, stuff like that I appreciate, because it's just like that was her actually using like her trained battle, like actual fighting and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't have issues with that. I had issues when they were treating us like we were stupid, which they didn't do too much, but they did it. You know, I would have rather they had gone down and went, everyone's speaking English for no apparent reason, and then moved on. Everyone on the entire planet would have been like, nope, we get it. We understand. And instead they did this whole total BS that the Atlantean language is, I guess, the root language of all languages, so somehow magically they know all languages or something. I just sat there in the theater and went, what? How does that work? So you're stuck down under the ocean for tens of thousands of years and somehow you know what modern French sounds like? What? Really? That's dumb.
I can almost see what you're saying with that, but for me, I actually kind of like that part, because I like studying languages.
So do
And
I,
like
which is why I found it abhorrent. You see what I'm saying? Is because I like languages is why I was like, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it was just a quick, 10-15 second, okay, this is what this is what they do, let's kind of move on.
But that's
kind
what
of
I'm
thing.
saying is they could have skipped it, done something else, and they wouldn't have treated me like I was dumb. You know, like, what was it? On the Viking shield in English, it said Iceland instead of Greenland or something like that. It was at the beginning of the whole.
Oh, the runes that they said
That was it.
Yeah, the translation, one rune was off to say Greenland as opposed to Iceland or whatever, however it may go.
Because I'm sure
a
the
rune was
ancient
off.
language of it also translated to Iceland and Greenland, and it was the one symbol that was the difference. But I just sat there, I hit moments where I'm going like, you think I'm stupid? Like, I'm not saying I'm a genius here. I'm just saying don't treat me like I'm an idiot. You know, it's like, come on now. And then like a lot of the rest of the movie was great, but you hit those moments where you're going like, really? You guys paid money for that, you know? Like, huh?
Now I'm gonna look it up and see if there was a series. I know there was the Atlantis
Probably
2
was.
movie. They did a second direct-to-video movie. Atlantis. Lost Empire. It was 2001, yeah. Apparently it was considered a lackluster box office response because Laura Croft or Tomb Raider and Shrek released at the same time, and they considered it a failure because it didn't do as well. Which the thing is, it did do well. It's just Disney just needs to stop talking about this failed because of this, and now we're not going to try anything new ever again. I hate when they do that crap. There was a TV series, but they canceled it before it even got out because of there was an underwater attraction that was also going to go along with it, but they canceled both of those because of the underperformance of the movie, quote unquote underperformance.
See, that's the problem with a lot of business people. They can't see small victories. It has to be a smash win or no win at all. It's like, no, you guys did well. You made money off of it. You know, you ignited people's interest in Disney doing sort of action-adventure animated movies. You did a good thing. So you're not getting the numbers that you sometimes get on movies. It doesn't mean it was a failure. It just means it wasn't one of your smash hits.
I mean, because they made money. The budget was 90 to 120 million, and they made 186 million. So they made back their money plus some. I just really wish that they would. And I don't know, because Disney's going to Disney no matter what. That whole black and white, it's a success. We must make more. It's a failure. We'll never try this again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the black and white of it that gets me. It's like your success might have been accidental, right? Mm-hmm. As in you kind of accidentally got the right thing at the moment, and making more of that one thing isn't necessarily going to make sense.
Right.
And you did good, but unfortunately you went up against, and I'm not going to say Laura Croft because that just wasn't a very good movie, but Shrek. A lot of people really enjoyed Shrek, and for good reason. It was a funny movie.
Oh, absolutely, still one of my faves.
And if I had to choose between the two, I think artistically, the character work and a lot of the scenes and illustrations in Atlantis was way better than Shrek. But at the end of the day, I have put Shrek in multiple times. I have not put Atlantis in.
Yeah, it's one of those ones I've been wanting to watch again, and I probably will at some point. It's just, I have more movies that I want to see before, or I want to see again. But I definitely want to watch it again because it's been years since we've rewatched it.
Well, I don't think I've seen it since the theater.
Oh, okay.
And I remember really loving a lot of the art and the scenes and stuff.
We we've watched it a couple of times because we got the DVD of it and we watched
Oh.
it a couple of times.
Okay.
It's been years.
I don't remember watching it again, but sure.
Yeah, it's been years since because when we did watch it, we watched after we watched the stuff that was on the DVD extras and all that stuff too. So
Yeah.
it's like I said, it's been years, so you probably don't remember.
Sure. No, I probably don't.
But yeah. I've been wanting to watch it again because I honestly enjoyed it and I love the character designs and I really wish that I don't know, did they release an art book? They probably did. But it's probably one of those ones where we only released it for like 3 months and now people are charging $1,000 for it. I want to look it up because I want to see because I love.
Who's gonna want to buy a plush Appa? I mean, really? Dang it.
That still cracked me up to this day. And they, like, oh man, like, oh yeah, we only made a few, because we just didn't think that people would want the big cuddly thing
From
that-
a extremely popular show with an extremely popular character in an extremely popular product form. That's what I'm talking about. I'm like, where did you people go to business school? I'm like, even as a non-business person, I'm like,
But hey,
really?
we got a toy of the Sky Dancer Aang flying helicopter thingy.
Sure, why not?
Oh my god. Okay, there was a Disney's Atlantis: The Lost Empire.
That sounds somehow familiar.
Well, that was the name of the book. That was the name of the movie itself. But,
Was it? Oh.
Yeah, that was the full title. Disney Atlantis: The Lost Empire.
Oh.
But
See, my memory sort of worked there.
I was looking for there was a art of, oh, okay, that's what it was. There was actually an art of Mike Mignola special for that book. Okay, y'all had me excited for a second. Darn you. Atlantis, The Lost Empire, the illustrated script. What is that? So I'm gonna guess no, there was not an official art book. Illustrated script. Huh. Let's see what that actually is.
This is going to sound funny, but everything that's great about Audrey's design, there's something amazing about this jawline. She actually has this bony, pointy little chin, and it's adorable. I might have to put that onto one of my characters.
Well, it was kind of like it's the kind of the tomboyish thing. Like they didn't give her the
Yeah.
soft round or the kind of traditionally pointed chin that a lot of the women have, and all of which I was.
They gave her the chubby cheeks, though. You know, like she's got these really great, like, chubby cheeks, and then it comes down to a little bony point, and it's kind of awesome.
Which again, Mike Migdola's art style and stuff, and it's read very well. I mean, it mixed very well with a lot of the Disney stuff, and I kind of wish they would do that a lot more. Like just take like awesome illustrators or comic book designers and just partner up with them and just see what we can get. Because there's been some really great designers we've seen, or illustrators and comic book people we've seen that did movie stuff, and you could kind of see the influence, but it wasn't really like their stuff. I mean, with Mike Migdola's, you can see the angles and the lines, and his influence definitely was absolutely there. I mean, I would love to see more combinations like that.
Oh, I agree, because it's like, for example, the Pixar look. The Pixar look is great, but you most certainly look at it after a while and go like, You guys could try stretching things a little bit here and there. And admittedly, you do have slightly different looks per show, but there's definitely an overall. It's like anime. I love anime, but when you get to the shows where they're just still doing the same default anime answers over and over again without rethinking the lines, it just drives me batty. And I love the Japanese style, but you get to a moment where, like, really? No, nothing? You're not going to rethink those lines at all? Okay, and then when the ones that do rethink the lines are just glorious looking.
Which with Pixar stuff, they actually are trying now. They're trying to do different styles, and we kind of saw that with well, generally with Up, and I want to say they were kind of
Up was a bit of a that's what I'm talking about right there. That was
right.
good.
And then they started going a bit more. They went a bit more realistic with oh crap! Come on.
The Incredibles and Up are the two examples where it looks like, because with The Incredibles it was like Brad Bird in 3D.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And with Up it was very much based upon. Actually, it'd be. I might have to take this back now and think about it. Up and was it Inside Out? Those were both very shape based.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to think of. While the emotion characters and stuff were very shape based and all that, the human characters, they were trying to do more of the realistic, the caricaturized realistic look, but they were still going a bit more with the head, kind of leaned toward a bit of the more realism with it, while the emotional or the motion characters and stuff were more cartoony.
I think it's they do something consistently, because every single time I see a Pixar movie, I go, "Yup, that's a Pixar movie."
Yeah.
And there's something that they do with the face or something, like including The Incredibles and stuff. And I love these movies, but you just look at it and you go, "That's Pixar."
It's the Disney eyes. Like they make the eyes a particular way that you can go, "Yep, that's those people were trained under the Disney look." And
That's
all.
Probably it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's bad or unforgivable. I'm just saying sometimes I would like to see them trying to rethink things a little bit, and then try something. And if it don't work, cool. But what are you going to get? Less sales? You're Pixar.
Which they have been trying a bit different stuff, and I mean even Disney's been trying a bit more different. I mean, this new one's coming out, the Turning Red, with the red panda, the girl turns into a red panda. It's gonna be coming out next year.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're trying something different, and while it still kind of has a little bit of the same look, they're still trying a bit more different character designs or character stylizations and stuff. I think they learned, they're learning with which we haven't seen yet. It's sitting on our thing to watch. Ralph Breaks the Internet, or even before then, Ralph versus Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
That was another one that was really good as far as different character designs and Disney not doing typical Disney.
Yeah. I'm not saying that they're not doing it. I'm just simply saying I'd like to see them do it a lot more.
Yeah, which I think
Because you guys are like industry leaders. You're the ones that have the firepower to try something new. But it's left up to the little guys who doesn't have much.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
you know, I always feel for the little guys, because they could make a bold choice and it may never matter because they're the little guys and very few people will watch them.
And I think that's why they keep doing what they're doing, because they're literally like, oh, we can do what we want. We're the leaders. No matter what we do, people are still gonna love us, which is kind of sad in a very strange way.
I can't remember which director it was, but he was like, yeah, you want to find the sweet spot on budgeting for your movie. And he's like, you go too low, you can't get the job done. You go too high, you have a lot of executives telling you what to do and you can't make your movie. You get it just the right amount where they don't care what you're doing and you have the money to do it, even if you have to, cheap some things out. that's when you can really make the movie you want to make. Because if you're above a certain amount, a bunch of people are going to step in going like, no, we got to guarantee the profitability of this movie. Whereas a movie that doesn't cost very much doesn't have to make very much, so they're like then they don't worry about it. And I'm kind of going like, that really is like the sweet spot, isn't it? Because you don't want to not have the funds to roughly do what you want, but you also don't want a bunch of executives sitting there telling you what to do when, guess what they're good at, doing? Emailing and PowerPoint presentations. What do they know about story and characters and film and stuff? And, oh, but it's Disney. Yeah, it's still a bunch of executives that don't know anything about animation telling people who do know about animation what to do. And that just bugs the crap out of me.
They know the business end of it.
Yeah,
as far
which
as
is good,
yeah,
but keep your nose there.
Yeah, that's what they're supposed to know. But as far as like telling the crayon colorers how to color with
That's
their
what I'm saying.
crayon, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm saying you don't want the Crayola guys in the accounting department. Yeah. You don't want the accountants in the Crayola department. It's just that simple. And
you have to learn to trust the
sorry,
people.
business people. I consider you to basically be accountants.
They
Fearsome fella. Oh dang, it's you guys. It's been a while since I passed by here. How's it going?
hello.
Fearsome fella. It's going pretty good. We're doing Audrey from Disney's Atlantis. Thank you for stopping by again, by the way. And it's at the end of summer, like my favorite time of year, because I like summer, but I like this part of summer. I don't like that irradiated heat fest of summer. That's just not my thing.
Yeah, it's we're getting into some of the last warm days now. And, tomorrow's gonna be warm. And it's gonna go back to the mid areas and stuff. And fall is technically officially here. So we're just waiting for the trees to change color, which will probably happen in the next month or so.
Yeah, exactly right. End of summer, it's perfect because it's a mix of sunny and rainy starting to, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's just, the air is sweet. It is comfy. You've got wind. That's one thing about summer that gets me. When you've got a breezy summer day, it's great. But most of the time, it's that still baking heat. I'm like, ugh. But this part of summer, the air is moving. It's just nice. I just love it.
It's funny, I love summer and I love spring, but as I've been getting older and not being able
Crotchetier?
not being able to tolerate heat as much as I used to.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, that can be tough.
I love summer, but man, I just get so warm so quick. So that's one of the reasons why I love spring, is because it's that nice, it's starting to warm up, and it's that nice in between, and everything just smells so fresh because everything's just been like buried under snow and ice, and everything is sprouting up new, and it smells good. There's no pollution in the air at the time.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no heat pollution. There's no muggy air. And here in Italy at night, it's still pretty hot, but it did get quite windy, and man, cold breeze while in the mild heat at night. It's perfect.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm originally from northern Michigan. Not saying it's the same thing as Italy. I can only imagine how nice it must be down in the Mediterranean. But in northern Michigan, there's a lot of peninsulas. We're right next to a lot of water and stuff. So I always kind of imagine we're the colder, grayer version of Italy. Much grayer. But it's like that when it gets hot in Michigan, and then the wind comes off the lakes, and it's that sweet, cool, slightly damp. Oh, your eyes roll up in the back of your head. Yeah, no, it's good stuff. I often wonder what it's like living like seriously inland. Like the center of America, like the center of Russia, the center of like Africa, where you're like a long way away from huge bodies of water. I'm wondering what that's like. There must be wind and stuff. There has to be, but I can't imagine it has that same right off the lakes, in our case, kind of feeling to it.
He says, "Huzzah! You're a man of quality indeed."
And a snort.
You got him to snort. Good job, man.
Nice. Nice. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, we were just talking about as great and as flawed as Atlantis was. Audrey is such a great character. I just love her design. I love the voice actress. I loved all the scenes with her, and I have a weakness for smart, handy characters, you know. I grew up on, like, MacGyver and stuff, so I love characters that know how to do stuff. And she was, like, a serious know-how-to-do-stuff character, and I just loved that. Male, female, don't matter. I just love characters that know what they're doing.
I have no idea. I have to look up and see who voiced her, because...
God,
I'm looking it up right now.
her name is right at the...
Jacqueline Obrados. Obrados is her
I was thinking of somebody else then.
Jacqueline Obrados.
Oh, but she just had such a... I loved her performance. I, for whatever reason, thought it was somebody else. Of course, it's also been a while since I watched Atlantis, so, you know, there you go.
Apparently she was one of the main detectives in the show NYPD Blue back in the early 2000s.
Well, you just gotta love that, like, Latina sound.
Wait, she was...
Some of the Latin ladies just have, like, this super sexy way of talking. And what I loved about her is she was had a little bit of that mixed in, you know, plus her being kind of like this tough little, like, fix-it chick. Oh, I loved Audrey. She was great.
Okay, now we're going to have to look back. Apparently she was in Deuce Bigelow.
Wow, that has been a long time since I've seen that movie.
Okay, I don't think we ever saw that one again, but other than the theater. That was The Rowdy Daughter, Son of the Mechanica. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. It's MacGyver wasn't the first, and I'm not going to say the Barney, the black guy from Mission Impossible, because I loved him too. He was such a good character. I'm not saying he was the first either, but like that smart, it was hands-on. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Smart, hands-on characters. Just love those characters. And what I'm loving is, and obviously she's not fresh and new. Atlantis came out a long time ago.
2001.
But, you know, over the last 20 years, we've been finally getting female characters like that too. And I'm just like, yes, thank you. Yes, because I know women know how to do stuff. And it's kind of hot that they do. You know, like...
Apparently she was she played a character in one episode of Young Justice, which we need to watch again also.
Yeah, Young Justice is something I want to get back into.
I have the Blu-rays on set to order at some point, because yeah, that's probably like the only way we're going to see it again. Actually, no. The one cartoon site that we saw earlier this morning that Jay showed us.
Yeah.
I think they have it on there, so I think we could probably watch it through there again. So yay, and including the last part that we haven't seen yet, part 3, or season 3, which yeah, I've been wanting to see that for forever.
Oh, that's right. You're in Italy. It's in the middle of the night for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably late.
Everywhere in the world is like America. It's daylight right now, everywhere. Good job, Eric. Dingus. It's so funny. I just went, wait a minute. That's the middle of the night over there, isn't it? Okay.
Let's see. Over there, it is. It's a little late. It's a little after midnight. It says, in my opinion, females with this archetype work better than males, mostly because I think we have an abundance of males of this type. But people refrain from doing them because they don't want something like Charlie's Angels, the 19th edition movie that happened. I don't think we saw the remake. We didn't see the remake of Charlie's Angels. When we saw
No, we saw the
2000
the
version,
aughts version. Yeah,
which I really loved.
it's. I think you're probably right. I'm also thinking that it's super hard to properly do one of these characters. Like over here, they tried redoing MacGyver, and their first thought was, let's make him a kid and give him a tough partner. And it was like, oh, so you guys don't understand remotely the thing that MacGyver originally was. So I think that any character, when they do it right, it's good. It's like, and he's one of my favorites, Barney from Mission Impossible. I love that character. Even when I was a little kid, and I rarely got to see Mission Impossible, it was always there's just this one, I can't remember which episode it is. The Mission Impossible team is doing the mission in the mansion, blah, blah, blah. And he's inside the walls, like sliding in between the walls with all this equipment and like breathing stuff on so he can breathe inside the walls without all the dust and everything getting in the way. And they're like, oh, yada, yada, yada. And they're doing all the like super spy smooth stuff. And then it would switch back to him with that like quiet, like, no, no, no. You know, kind of like that creepy slow. It's just like, and then he like gets out the power tools with like all the muffler equipment on it. No, actually, just drilling a hole into something, and I just always love that. I'm like, oh, don't get caught, dude. You know, like, so when Audrey was like this hardcore mechanic character, I was like, oh, where's your little grease monkey? You go get that engine, Audrey.
Well, I just love it. I just love like good tomboy characters and stuff because it's
Yeah, because I love girly girls, but girly girls aren't great if you don't have good tomboy characters too.
Because for me, that's what I was as a kid. And so, like for me personally, I like seeing those types of characters and that can hold their own and not have to worry about.
Oh yeah.
A dude.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying is my editor, she made the best comment. She's like, no, you can have like a big booby, dumb, floozy, stereotypical hot chick. You can have that. And she's like a total feminist. She's like, you can have that. But you need to have a female character that knows what she's doing. You can have all these different kinds of characters as long as you represent the spectrum of it. And that's what I loved about her. She was like, oh my God, she was so good.
Yeah, you gotta have the balance. That's like Vincenzo a lot. Yes, oh yeah, Vincenzo.
Wait, which one was he?
He was the dynamite guy.
Oh yes! Oh my God, yeah. No, he was
He
good
was the
too.
explosives dude.
Yeah, he was good. I loved him. Especially, who's the guy that got do? Because basically he was just like, yeah, do your character from Saturday Night Live. Cannot remember the.
Give me a second. Don Novello.
That sounds right.
He was he was Father Guido Sarducci.
Thank you. There we go. I was blanking on the name. Yeah, he was a good character.
Yeah, I mean, he was. Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
I like the fact that he's like all the stuff that he carried on him, on his person. Just flint and all of the explosive stuff. And I like the fact that he walked around with a literal match hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah.
With all of the flammable explosive stuff on him, and he just had a match and he was just chew on like a toothpick. One of the other ones, they were doing something serious, and they all just turn around and stare at him as he's like taking apart a clock and trying to make a bomb. He's like, What?
See, that's what I'm talking about, doing a comic relief character that isn't dumb. He was one of the good ones in the movie. Unlike Mole. Mole! Hate Mole.
Oh, okay, that's it. Corey Burton. That's the voice of Mole. Okay. Yeah, he was Hugo Strange in Batman Arkham City in the game, and has done tons of just voice act. He's one of the actual voice actors.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, it's...
I was like, I know his voice.
No, I don't have a problem with the guy that did the voice. I just did not care for the character. I thought he was poorly written. I loved a lot of the other characters, though, a lot. Not gonna lie, Dodom comedic characters can be the best. No, I'm not judging comedic characters at all, because you're right. Kronk was freaking hilarious.
Kronk is one of my dudes, man.
My problem is you have at least two types of comedic characters. The ones that legitimately make you laugh, ha, and the ones that treat you like you're 2 years old. And Kronk was just freaking funny. Like, a lot of these characters were very funny characters. My problem is when a character ends up being like a Jar Jar Binks. That's where I have a problem with it, where it was like, you guys could have brainstormed for literally 5 more minutes and come up with something funnier than that. That is, to me, it just feels like lazy, we're going to write it so the toddlers laugh humor. I'm sorry, the toddlers are going to laugh with more clever humor than that, because that's what they do. You know? The adults have to watch it. I hate being treated as if I'm a kid. By the way, I love dumb humor. Give me a good solid fart joke. I want a well-crafted fart joke. I just do. Give me a badly crafted fart joke, I'm not going to like it. I'm just not.
Did a really good job with her.
Yeah, she came out pretty good. And she's just got that super sexy mouth with like the slight buck tooth look, which I think is just super cute. Got like this big it's funny when you were a kid. It was like, oh, don't draw that. That's me. And I'm going like, I think it's kind of hot actually. That's character into the mouth and stuff. It's like, it's great.
And her Binks, honestly, if I closed my eyes and removed him, nothing would change. Maybe it would even be better.
Close my eyes and... Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh my God. Oh, that's what I mean. It's like I take comedy and humor. This is going to sound ridiculous. I take it very seriously, because in my mind, if you're going to do something, you do it right. If you're going to tell a joke, you tell it right. If you're going to try to make people laugh, you legitimately try to make people laugh. Well, the goal of making a 2-year-old laugh, that is a piss poor goal. You know, you could do darn near, why did the chicken cross the road jokes literally make 2-year-olds laugh. It's not hard. That is a very low bar to hit. And so, yeah. Mole hated that character because he could have been such an interesting, funny... And instead they just did very low-hanging fruit with that character. But a lot of the other characters, great. I loved them.
Cleansing breaths. Deep cleansing breaths.
She's pretty cute. Tomboys are the opposite of cute, but they just come out as cute too. It's actually funny. I'm just of the opinion that there's different types of cute. There's different types of pretty. There's different types of... And when people go like, oh, she's too this, or he's too that, or this is... And I go like, that's your opinion. Somebody out there like finds really big, chubby characters to be legitimately really cute, and then the next person will only find really thin characters. So it's like you need to have that variety. That's what I love about especially her. Because I actually think she's pretty, I think she's cute, but she's also like this perfect tomboy, and she's got the baggy stuff, and she knows what she was doing, and super cute voice. The accent gets me every single time because she's just adorable. But yeah, the next person that comes along goes like, she's not cute. She doesn't have giant anime eyes and pink hair. And oh yeah, I find that stuff cute too. But oh God, love her. You've been amusing. Like Meg, yeah. If they treated Jar Jar like Meg from the Griffins, anytime they talk, people just go, "Shut up, Meg." I mean, yeah, creative-wise, I agree. There's a market for anything. So honestly, chubby characters, skinny, dumb, smart, hands-on, etc. Anything can work as long as you as long as you want it to, as long as you work it and you try to get the best out of that. That's kind of my opinion. I'm actually the story I'm working on right now. I'm doing a short story where the two main characters are in basically an action environment, but they are not action characters at all. So I had to write characters, one of which was a coward, and one of which was he's just not a physical character. And neither of them are very courageous. And I'm like, well, what can I do with these characters in this environment? And that was kind of the point, is just going in and going like, what can I do with blank? So in this case, Audrey was a great example of what can we do with like this girl that really knows how to do engines and mechanical stuff. Oh God, everything about her was great. Anywho, I have got to get dinner in me. So I think she turned out pretty well. And forgive me for this because Oz got to do it. Oz got to do it.
Make that dough.
Oh, gotta make. Yeah, someday I'll make dough. That would be nice. All right. Public service announcement time. Do you want a schedule of upcoming episodes and links to missed episodes sent to your email? Then go to supersecretprojectx.com/ericart and sign up for my newsletter at the bottom of the page. Boom. And I'm gonna transition back any moment now. There we go. Because I'm hoping that someday I can turn this into a little bit more of a money-making venture. And the upside is you get updates on my writing and a podcast that a friend of ours and we do called Beefcast, where we are currently reviewing Thundar the Barbarian, every episode of Thundar the Barbarian on the Beefcast. So, sign up, don't sign up. I'm good either way. I just want people to have fun. The important thing is keeping up the good work. Yeah, thank you. And that is what's important, is just keep trying your best every single day. I have things I definitely need to improve on, but the art is where I know what I'm doing. It's the business that I'm still trying to get better at. We'll work on it. We're getting there. We're getting there. Whoop! But it was good having you back, man. It's been a while.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate that very much. So.
It's a nice surprise.
Hope you're doing well.
Yes. Actually, the parody version of Thundar is Amazing Gundar. I'll have to look that up. I don't think I've heard of that. But yeah, we'll look it up. But thanks for showing up, man, and everyone